Welcome back to this tutorial of Node.js and Express.js. Last time we were talking about middleware in Express.js. Today I want to talk about error handling, because sometimes you also need to expect for expecting unexpected things to happen, and use error handling. So let's call it error.js. So error handling in Express.js is kind of like using middleware. You have middleware functions that can have 4 input parameters, and one of them is the error. And when an error occurs, you go through the middleware functions until there is a function that can kind of work with the error, and then it processes the error, and you get your message, or execute some code. And also the order is important in how you structure your middleware functions. So because they get sequentially executed, so be aware of the order you handle your errors and other stuff, and structure the middleware functions. Okay, so we have here a very simple case in case your root throws an error. We have app-get, and then the root error, and then we just throw the error or something went wrong. Very simple, very basic, but probably not really helpful. So if you have an error in your root, you can use that. So now things get a little bit more complicated when you work with asynchronous servers, or generally asynchronous. Then you need to forward the error yourself. So we have here our asynchronous function, and then we have here a non-existent function, and then when an error occurs, it gets caught, but we need to forward the error to the next error handler, and the error handler, they are structured like the middleware, or there are middleware functions, and with that it gets forwarded to the next middleware function, because without that the code would never register that something is wrong. So the error gets handled by your custom middleware function. Be aware that they have 4 input parameters, and the first one is the error, request, response, next. And then we have like the standard behavior, so it gets logged and we send a generic response 500 that something is wrong. You can also have different kinds of middleware functions for different kinds of errors. And so if you have like a validation error or other types of errors, you can be a little bit more specific than something broke. This is a bit shitty example. This will probably not help anyone, but so if you want to see if the error type is validation, then you can also have a middleware function and just look for the error type. If it's validation, then write it in the error message, or I don't know, log it in the console that error message validation, or error type validation. Otherwise, just go to the next one, and then we can look if it's any kind of other error and just stack them piece by piece. And if there is no error, you can just use the default handling. Okay, so that's about error handling. Just keep in mind they are kind of like middleware functions, and they have this syntax with error request response next, and they can forward errors to the next handler. So next, then it gets forwarded to this handler, and yeah, just just for just use different kinds of error handlers for different kinds of errors.